midnight each day.
On Valentine's night.
Time as you know it freezes.
20 minutes past 10.
Keep up, Doctor.
Thinks we're going to smother her in her sleep.
I'm a grave digger, Doctor.
I was at home.
David is my husband.
All on my lonesome.
Stabbed him with a steak knife.
Nothing changes.
I'm a qualified angel of death.
When I'm dancing,
You get this day over and over.
Hilda.
I black out.
I don't think she's got long.
And Laurie just...
Naked on the beach.
Hannah.
Is that it for today?
Oh yeah, you probably got an you probably got an advert. All right, so all right. Oh, that's the question I wanted to see, to ask him. Okay, I got a question for him. Have you seen people coming back from the... Because I don't think zombies is gonna be in his vocabulary in his keynote. So
when you work in a graveyard, you see a lot of strange things.
Yes, I have a blue screen crash.
I'm not sure if they're real, or whether I think they're real.
The game crashed.
Or which is worse.
It was not the stream that crashed, it was the game. Alright, so... Have you seen people coming back from the dead?
When you work in a graveyard, you see a lot of strange things. I'm not sure if they're real, or whether I think they're real, or which is worse.
Okay, let's ask, what have you seen?
No, sorry.
Ah. What else have you seen? Or what strange things? Stranger things.
You're laughing at me, aren't you?
No.
I said I wasn't sure if they were real.
Okay, so the asterisk is gone now. Is that his pocket watch that he's tapping to say, hurry up? Have you been getting out of control? That's the last question. Have you moved stuff during extra hours? Okay. Have you moved? Things during extra hour.
Moving things around and hiding things was amusing at first, when everyone was frozen. Some people would faint when things appeared from mid-air. Others would cry. Others just thought that it was there all the time and that their mind was playing tricks on them. It got boring fast, though.
Yeah, you see, now it's green. So now we're done with Bryce. So now it's only Jaya. Jaya is not a patient, it's our secretary slash assistant. And yeah, she gives us evidence, like all the stuff about the murder. We got it from her, and she got it from the police. So yeah, we've known that he's been stabbed with a knife multiple times, and let's see, Aldaby, a patient. Yeah, we received a piece of evidence, which is Aldeby footage, which is Professor Aldeby came in as patient, but I don't think that he wanted to be treated. I guess he wanted to shop for a good psychiatrist, if one could say. Let me show you how it went.
Nothing.
It's a
of course.
montage.
The faculty thinks I've gone loopy, like some kind of spongy Mobius strip. That's why I'm here, isn't it, Dr. Dekker? Him, God, the great old one, the elder god, Cthulhu, however you address him. Listen to me! You're not listening! It's your only bloody job! Well, let's call him God. He creates this world for his amusement, something he can play with and occasionally alter to suit his mood. God loves chaos, but something goes wrong. Man and woman evolve. What was once chaotic becomes, well, more ordered. Without chaos, he has less power. When there's too much order, he becomes impotent. So he needs to instill chaos again. And do you know how he does this? No. And yes, but you're being too granular. He needs chaos so he can return, and the only thing stopping him is you. Not just you. You and people like you. Psychiatrists, doctors, nurses. Anyone who is caring for people who are losing their sanity. You have no comprehension how important your job is, do you? He doesn't need your version of insanity to spread. He needs chaos. It's not the same. It's just a means to an end. They're not all cultists, unfortunately. Once you see the truth, it's hard not to spread chaos yourself, to cause further insanity and harm your own. I doubt it. But can I make you question your reality? Definitely. But in doing so, I would be promoting more chaos. On the basis the central component of our universe is chaos, science can only document a perception of the chaos at any one given moment in time. As, by definition, chaos is unpredictable from one moment to the next. Which means that at any given moment, we can choose to alter our perception of the world, no matter how much chaos that would cause. In 10 seconds' time, there will be no gravity in this room, and we will float. 3, 2, 1. You think nothing happened. Where's your glass, Doctor?
What do you think? I think that guy is not crazy. His theory is interesting. I don't know how he pulled the trick with the gravity at the end, but for some reason, you see, he messed with the recording. Like there was something in the air. There was a field that makes the interference in the movie recording. Like, I find it interesting that, like, God is a god of chaos, but when he created man and women, they evolve and they bring order to all that chaos. That's thus giving him less power and become impotent. And when people think that God is not real, it's because there's so much order in the world that God has just no room to be powerful. I believe that back then, back when God was all-knowing and all-powerful, we were not as we didn't pierce all the secrets of the universe, and that's why, like, we were gullible. That's why we gave power to the God, you know. Is there a ghost? I don't know if he was the one doing that, but he probably tapped into something about that chaos energy that God is so fond of, like the Big Bang, or I want to know what his trick was. So yeah, is Alderby a
I think
patient?
I'm going to get into trouble now. Have you ever heard of secret shoppers? Well, Professor Alderby posed as a patient to test Dr. Dekker. It's just a thing that he does. I'm sure he'll come and visit you at some stage, so please play along.
Okay, so maybe I'm gonna ask he's gonna visit me. He's gonna visit
Very interesting that you asked me that. It's not something I can answer, though.
This game's gonna make you think all night. Yeah, yeah. Why would Professor Alderby need to test? Okay. That's a good, nice question. Why? Why? Testing. Dekker.
Test is the wrong word. More like gently guide. Professor Alderby had a lot of good advice to offer the young psychiatrists. He really helps them focus on where the problems are.
Okay. So there's still another asterisk on this question.
I think I'm going to get into trouble now. Have you ever heard of secret shoppers? Well, Professor Alderby posed as a patient to test Dr. Dekker. It's just a thing that he does. I'm sure he'll come and visit you at some stage, so please play along.
Play along.
I can't help you with that, sorry.
Crap. Posing as a patient.
Most of the patients are suspects, according to the police.
Ah,
Almost
wrong
all
keep.
the patients are referred, and some of them.
Maybe there's no subject. Alderby. Posing as a patient.
Most of the patients are suspects, according to the police. Almost all the patients.
I'll try that. Why do you want me? Play along.
I think you might be barking up the wrong tree there.
Did it work? No, it didn't work. Oh. Do you believe in God?
Everyone has to believe in something, don't they, Doctor?
I'll try. Do you want me to lie? Want me to?
I don't know about that, Doctor.
So what else can we work with? Oh no, that's the only one left.
think I'm going to get into trouble now. Have you ever heard of secret shoppers? Well, Professor Alderby posed as a patient to test Dr. Dekker. It's just a thing that he does. I'm sure he'll come and visit you at some stage, so please play along.
I'm gonna wait until the int is recharged to ask again. Because that's the only clue left. Why does he think she'll get into trouble? Oh my god, that's so obvious. Why do you... Sometimes... Why do you think... there will...
This practice is owned by a trust. They make all the money and leave me to make all the decisions, which generally means making lots of money. I headhunted Dr. Dekker. And you?
Oh. There's an asterisk that popped out of the question we just asked. So, what can we ask? You you hired me.
I've recruited the last 5 doctors since I've been here. You know, I've got a flair for recognizing the extraordinary. Both you and Dr. Dekker were extraordinary.
Thank you. I'm extraordinary. I'm gonna ask next time.
Both Cambridge graduates, both top of the class, both pliable, obedient slaves to my every whim.
No.
Yeah, that last one's more of a hope than a must-have attribute.
There you go. There she's green. Green, 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 green. All right. Yeah, I promised you a question. So yeah. Do you like sushi?
I don't know anything about that, I'm afraid.
Yeah, she never heard of sushi. Sorry. Alright, next day. Are you sure? Yes.
David Hunt,
I can change my skin.
then skins.
Dr. Dekker dated his patients.
I had a hot date
We went out for drinks.
I took photos of Jessica.
Dr. Dekker did
on
phone
Valentine's Day.
and ask me for Nathan's number.
There was a girl there.
Am I wrong to keep the locket?
I'm allowed to talk to her, aren't I?
He was preoccupied with finding
Photographs,
patterns.
rocking chair.
I haven't been back to the beach since
I had a bit of a shaky loop incident.
where I find something
I set fire
beautiful in the sea.
to Hannah's clothes in the garden.
I dug the grave.
I wish I'd said goodbye.
Dr. Dekker cursed me.
It didn't weigh enough to have a body in it.
Alright, day 3.
Doctor, you surprised me. Reminds me of Officer Yates.
Oh.
Did I ever mention I had a special friend in the police force? Nah, it's not something you drop politely into a conversation.
Yes.
He's been doing some digging and he's found a couple things.
Oh.
There's a crime scene report that goes into all the gory details and another report that's about a patient you're seeing today, Claire.
Clamson
I'll put them
report.
both on the desk for you. And thanks for the grief counselling, by the way. It's really been helping, you know, I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, hug. Yeah, Act 3 spiked. I have no idea how the game is, but yeah, take care. So yeah, we start with Claire. Back in a bit. The arrest report says that Claire killed David. I've underlined some things to ask her about. I wonder if Bryce buried David. What happened with Ben? Ask patience about the paper spike. Too much to do today. I don't believe Claire killed her own husband, even though he was... let's see. Crime scene report. Claire's arrest report. Crime scene report. Summary. Case number 221-1084. Date 14th of February 2017. Title, Doctor. First name, blank. Last name, DEKKER. Position of victim. The victim was located in his office, sitting on a chair behind the desk, soaked in blood with an obvious chest wound. Possible murder weapons, paper spike, desk accessory, 150 millimeters long, protruding from the approximate region of the victim's heart. So he was stabbed with the paper cutter. Coroner's initial findings. Time of death estimated from liver temperature measurement to be between 8:30 and 10:30 p.m. on 14th of February 2017. Note that the victim's body was reportedly discovered at 10:20 p.m. on the 14th of February 2017. So between 8:30 and 10:30, he was killed. And at 10:20, the body was found. So it has to be between 8:30 and 10:15. Cause of death, exsanguination due to puncturation of the left anterior descending coronary artery. Death would have occurred within minutes after... The rest of the paper I cannot see because it's not well, I cannot scroll down. So... left anterior descending coronary artery. So near... So... chest, on his chest. So yeah, near his heart. So yeah, he didn't hit his heart, but he hit the artery. The descending coronary, that's the aorta. So the lower aorta... Okay, I know where he's bit. It's on his rib cage, on the descending. Yeah, it was really on his chest. It's still his chest at this point. But okay, interesting. Now, Claire's arrest report. Statement of Christian Weber, police officer 7691. To the best of my knowledge, this statement is true. I understand I may be prosecuted if I have stated anything that I know to be untrue. Signed, blah, 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 date 9th of November. At 20:40 hours on Tuesday, 8th of November, myself and PC 97225 Holt, this is the matricle for the other police officer. So Weber and Holt responded to a call received from a neighbor to the Bauer House, Weston Park Avenue, concerning a reported disturbance. We arrived at the address and knocked on the front door, but there was no reply. We then examined the rear of the property and gained entry through insecure patio door. We entered the property through this door, and I announced myself by shouting police, but did not hear any response. We searched the premises. Upon entering the dining room, I saw a female seated next to a man who was lying on the ground. The man did not appear to be conscious. Both persons were drenched in blood, and there was a substantial amount of blood on the carpet, walls, and furniture. I noted that would appear to be a steak knife on the floor, which was also covered in blood. At this point, I asked the woman to put her hands on her head, which she did. Holt secured the female while I checked the man for signs of life, but found none. I asked the woman her name, and she identified herself to me as Claire Castleford. I asked if she knew the dead man, and she said that he was her husband, David Castleford. I asked what has happened, and she said that she had killed him. Following a search by PC Holt, which revealed no other person present at the house, I said to Castleford at 20:52 hours, you are under arrest on suspicion of murder. I have cautioned her and placed her in the back of the police car transportation to Weston Park Police Station, where I relayed the circumstance of the arrest to PC 2354 Hill, who authorized her, and then it goes below and I cannot read anymore. So when she told us that her only bits of a lack of control was when she stabbed David. She omitted to us that she killed him. Yet she confessed to the police officer upon arrest. This is strange indeed. I'm not gonna grill her on that yet. Let's see. Nathan, Mariana, Ellen, Claire, Bryce, Jaya, and Professor Warwick. Who's he? He's wearing an indigo shirt with purple jeans. He's wearing glasses on his hand and a glass of alcohol on his other hand. And he's drinking, he's sipping it. Okay. So let's check with Nathan. Hello, Nathan. How are you today?
I burned Hannah's rocking chair.
Oh, you
Then
did?
moved forward. It was a good choice. I'm not sure I've got much left of hers now. I've burnt most of it, or given it away, just to make the days move forward. There was a moment when I was attacking a Salvation Army bin, but I gave in.
Shall we talk about Anna?
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? And thanks for the dating advice, by the way.
Okay. Oh, so you did follow my dating advice.
I signed up for a dating website. It's a bit easy, to be honest. If I message something they don't like, I change it when the day replays.
Why isn't it honest?
If I'm being honest, I'd probably rather ask out one of the patients I've seen here. The friendly redhead with the accent.
You want to date her? What else can you tell me about Dekker? What happened with the Salvation Army bin?
I accidentally put Hannah's diary into a Salvation Army donation bin. They're like huge post boxes with a circular tray that makes sure things spill to the bottom. I tried to get in to get it back, but I gave up.
Did you read the diary?
I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me. That she was going to break off the engagement. That she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it.
What do you regret?
I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long. I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it. Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver.
What else can you tell me about Dekker?
I've told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy.
What problems did Dekker give you?
I started out with depression. Now I seem to repeat days. Even if you don't believe the repeat days, then I clearly have extra mental health problems that he's given me.
Why was Dekker crazy?
I think that he possibly cursed other people, a bit like he cursed me. Sometimes you could see he was bursting to tell me about it, but he couldn't. He was ecstatic with power.
Well, how did Dekker curse you?
Curse. Or remembered. I was hoping he'd forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
Why did you believe Dekker?
I didn't want to believe him. I remember I said, you can't just say things and they happen. He laughed and laughed. I think he was going mad. He said he'd give me a demonstration.
What demonstration?
He held his hand outstretched and told me to look at the flame. There was no flame, and then there was. He was holding a flame in his hand that had come out of nowhere. And he tried to hypnotize me to make me forget it.
You remember the flame even though he hypnotized you?
I didn't forget seeing the flame. He wanted me to forget it all, but I didn't. For whatever reason, he couldn't undo what he'd done. I was scared. I pretended like the hypnosis had worked.
Why were you scared?
I was scared what Dr. Dekker would do to me if he found out I still knew. So I had to play along. Keep coming to the sessions. Pretend I hadn't seen what he'd done. It was awful, because I was suffering through the same days over and over again. But I couldn't talk to him about it, because he'd know.
What did Dekker want you to forget?
He'd become bored of me, so I got much of my insight from calls or messages he'd take during our sessions. I think because he hypnotized me, he didn't want to play with me anymore, so I got basic therapist.
What's a basic therapist?
He told me lots of people get depression, to become more active, see more people. And although he wouldn't always be there to listen, Jaya would be.
Do you know Jaya well?
Yeah, I talked to her quite a lot. I'm not sure how many days of that she'd remember. She seemed to care, which is more I can say for Dekker.
Okay, before I ask about the paper spike... Oh, there's a note. Nathan says he talked to Jaya a lot. I should ask her. Okay. There was a note from the previous that I didn't get an answer. Did you get a call from... from Dekker?
I've told you all I know about Dr. Dekker. He started out good, then turned a bit crazy towards the end. When you start giving people more problems as a therapist, that's a bit crazy.
Okay, so... do you know about the paper spike?
I remember the spike. He was very sharp. Dekker used to fool around with it during the sessions, but I mostly just kept my head down. Most of the time it paid not to look at what he was doing.
Yeah. Okay, so now, did you kill Dekker so you wouldn't have to suffer through repeat days?
When you live life as I do, you don't really know what has happened and what hasn't anymore. Sometimes I do things and I repeat the days so they're undone. I've done some things I'm not proud of, but none of it usually sticks.
What have you done that you're not proud of?
Dekker was a dangerous person. I'm glad he's dead. You'll get no glowing references from me.
Okay, so now I'm done with the mandatory question. So, where can I expand? Did you read the diary?
I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me. That she was going to break off the engagement. That she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it.
Regret seems to be hinted. You're back until you fall asleep? Okay. So, alright. There were some words that were in italic suggesting that they were keywords. So I'm gonna try, what do you regret most?
I regretted that I mourned for Hannah so long.
Ah, yeah.
I regret the grief. I regret all the days I slept through because of it. Had I known she didn't love me anymore, things would have been different. I'm a bit angry now. If I had that day over again, I may just still pull out in front of the driver.
So, did you read the diary?
I read the last few weeks of Hannah's diary a while ago. I must have accidentally dropped in some clothes for the Salvation Army bin. It's funny, because I wasn't going to read it. She said she'd fallen out of love with me, that she was going to break off the engagement, that she didn't love me anymore. I regretted it.
Okay. So the regret part has already been taken care of. What do you feel about the breakup?
Can we maybe not talk about Hannah anymore? And thanks for the dating advice, by the way. The curse. Well remembered. I was hoping you'd forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
Can you stop believing? The curse.
The curse. Well remembered.
No.
I was hoping you'd forget. It's going to sound crazy. Dr. Dekker said I would never be able to move forward until I came to terms with my grief. And so from this point on, I start to relive the same day over and over again until I made something of it. I believed him.
Okay. I think I'm gonna mess with this outside of stream and move on to another person. So I'm gonna go to Mariana. So, okay, how are you today? Oh, a new dress. She always comes on with a new dress. Nathan always comes with the same clothes. Always, because he's living a reloop. But Mariana already comes with a different dress. It's kind of interesting. How are you today?
I'm okay. Thanks for asking. It's rent day, and I always feel a little blue on rent day.
Why is that? What's rent day?
Rent day is the day I pay rent to my landlady.
Have you had any more blackouts?
I've had no blackouts, and I haven't been to the beach since our last session. But I think I will today.
No!
Do you want to come with me to the beach?
Oh yeah, because I promised her that I would record her blackout if it happens, because she doesn't remember anything. Maybe someone should come with you to the beach. You mentioned something beautiful?
You've got a good memory, Doctor. Let's talk dreams. Sometimes I'll dream about a light, deep in the ocean somewhere. I head towards it because it's warm and glowing, like a beacon. And when I'm at the bottom, it's the most beautiful thing.
You've been called by Dagon.
Like like a welcoming sun. Like I'm home.
You're turning into an Innsmouter, lady.
And then I wake up.
You have an octopus necklace, and you said that you have some special powers, but you don't feel comfortable to talk up to me about this. But every time you says something about the sea, something about waking up near the beach, completely naked in seaweeds, and yeah, everything. Why a beacon?
It's so beautiful. Calls me. It's like I'm in a trance. What does the dream mean, Doctor?
I want to say, I'm going to be straight with her. Cthulhu yeah, Cthulhu is calling you. Just Cthulhu is calling.
You'll have to ask me something else.
Yeah, of course you wouldn't get that. Of course you wouldn't get that. What's this? Mariana's dream would mean many things. A metaphor for current issues, searching for something, or maybe she's making it up. Okay. Metaphor. For your issues. Oops, I need to recharge my controller.
Yes, I suppose I follow that glow like people follow me. I still don't know what it means, though.
Also, she is an influencer. When I asked what she was doing for a living, she didn't say shit. Maybe someone should come with you to the beach.
Doctor, I think you're getting a little anxious. If you ever wanted to visit the beach, you can just turn up. It's not mine.
Do you know anything about the paper spike?
Dr. Dekker used to put my checks on that thing. I guess someone thought they weren't getting value for money.
You mentioned checks?
I actually don't have a lot of money. Sometimes a therapy check would bounce, but Dr. Dekker would be okay with it. Oh, my checks are fine though, don't worry.
Yeah, like I'm worried about being paid right now. Do you have money problems?
I'm not broke. Men buy me drinks at bars though. Sometimes I'll get away with not paying at restaurants. Isn't that how it is for everybody?
No. Do you often go to bar and restaurant?
I mainly like drive-thrus. I don't like crowds, and I find it difficult to stay in the same place for too long. I guess I'm a fidget.
You dislike crowds but visit nightclubs?
Crowds at nightclubs and bars are different. The lights are dim. You can slink around without attracting too much attention.
Why slink?
Sometimes I'll kiss a guy in a club, and then he just follows me wherever I go. It's creepy.
You're a mermaid.
I don't want everyone seeing that.
Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it again. You are a mermaid.
Interesting that you should say that. Dr. Dekker said the same thing.
What?
And he's dead now. Siren, mermaid? Do you think I could really be one?
Sorry. Where do people follow you?
They follow me wherever I go.
The beach.
Anywhere. Where do you think they follow me, Doctor?
To the beach. They follow you to the beach.
They follow me.
To the beach.
Try again?
Marianne wants me to guess where people follow her. What happens after they follow her? Oh, okay, okay. What happens after people follow you?
It depends where they follow me. If they follow me home, they bang on the door for an hour or so, then leave. Other places, they just disappear. I don't see them again.
Okay. Bottom of the sea.
I don't know anything about that.
What do you mean they disappear?
They don't just disappear into thin air. I think they return to the place I found them. But I've not run into the same person twice.
You okay with men buying you drinks?
It's just good manners to accept when someone offers to buy you a drink. I'm a very good-natured girl.
Do people ever follow you home?
Yes, they follow me home. They're silent. It's like a trance.
Or are they blacking out?
I don't know.
Why are you good nature?
Don't you think I'm sweet, Doctor?
Yes, you're sweet.
I think you're falling for me, Doctor. Don't let that get in the way of helping me.
Did he follow you to bed?
There was one guy. A real gym buddy. I let him into the bedroom, but nothing. Nothing I did would stop him just staring at me. It was creepy. I got him to follow me outside, and then I just shut the door.
Talk to me about Dekker.
Are we still talking about him? And I thought you were just interested in me, Doctor.
Did Dekker visit you at home?
Dr. Dekker suggested home visits. I think he was probably checking up on his investment. You're not thinking of doing home visits, are you, Doctor?
No, I'm not thinking of doing home visits.
That's good. I'm not sure I can afford any more of your time.
You're broke. Alright, I think we're done with the mermaid. Let's go talk to Elin. How are you today?
I'm fine. Work's fine. Hilda's fading fast. Terry's Terry. Oh, you'd be pleased to know I don't have the locket anymore.
Oh yeah, you don't have it.
Back. All of it. Every single keepsake.
So, why did you give the locket back?
You told me to. Well, not in so many words, but you said I shouldn't have kept them. And what with Terry going around telling everyone I stole them, I didn't feel like I really had any choice. The
Yeah.
lockets, the watch, the ring. But I kept the little bird Sarah Dekker gave me.
Sarah
Wasn't
Dekker?
supposed to mention her.
Oh no, 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 no. Sarah Dekker?
Dr. Dekker's mother. She was one of my first patients, but she died a while ago.
Oh, yeah, they did mention that they were talking, she and Dr. Dekker were talking about each other's moms. She was treating Dr. Dekker's mom, and he, as a doctor, had to ask about Ellen's mom. I see. So, how's Terry?
Terry seems to have backed down since I gave the keepsakes back.
Okay.
Actually, it doesn't seem like she's been very well. Not her usual self. Maybe she's got a bug or something.
She's got a bug. How's Hilda?
Hilda's nearing the end. She's been sleeping a lot, not eating much. She hasn't been that argumentative either. Although, she did give me a vicious scratch yesterday.
Okay. Why did Hilda scratch you?
It was nothing. I was just trying to give her meds. It's hard, you know. I'm trying to help her, but she keeps fighting me. It'll be better after she's seen her daughter. I've decided I'm going to do it tonight. She hasn't got much time left.
Do what tonight?
I know the answer to that, Doctor. What have we been talking about? What can I do for Hilda that will make it all better?
Oh, change. Are you going to pretend to be Hilda's daughter tonight?
That's the plan. I know, it sounds unbelievable, like I'm making it up. I wish I could prove it to you somehow. We could try shifting now.
That's what I was asking you yesterday.
Think of someone you really love. It might help if you close your eyes. Are you thinking of them? Can you picture them? Okay, hold on.
Yeah, her face did change a bit.
Sorry, I don't think it's gonna work. On the bright side, that probably means you're not gonna die anytime soon.
There was a bit of a shift in her face. Like, it's enough to convince me. Is Elaine going to pretend to be Hilda's daughter? Mariana wants me to guess where people follow her. What happened after they follow her? They disappear. Mariana's dreams can be many things. A metaphor. Maybe she's making it up. What do you say when you shift?
It's tricky. I mean, I'll sound exactly like Hilda's daughter, but I try and keep it vague because I don't become her. I don't know what she would really say. I say things like, it's okay, don't be scared, I love you, Mum, or I love you, Dad. But it doesn't really matter what their relationship's like because it's not really them. I always do the Disney version. The best, most loving version. That's what my patients want to hear. And maybe deep down they know it's not the truth, but it's got to be better than the reality.
Why bother shifting if patients know it's not the truth?
Does it really matter if it isn't the truth? Isn't it worth it if it brings them peace? Tell me honestly, Doctor. Do you really think that what I'm doing is wrong?
No. No, shifting isn't wrong.
Good. Because I really feel this is something I have to do.
Do you know about the paper spike?
It's true then. I'd heard Dr. Dekker was stabbed, but I didn't know for sure. It's weird that whoever did it would choose the paper spike.
Why is it weird the paper spike was used?
Dr. Dekker used to play with it in our sessions sometimes. You know, pick it up, handle it while we talked. I remember once, he pushed the spike through his skin. At this bit, here, between his thumb and his finger. He said he didn't think I'd mind the sight of blood being a nurse and all that, but actually, there wasn't any.
Why wasn't there any blood from the paper
I was a
spike?
bit freaked out. At first, I thought it was a trick. A magic trick, you know? Like some kind of therapeutic test. Show the patient this retractable spike and see how they react. But it wasn't. The spike was real.
How do you know the spike was real?
Dr. Dekker gave me the paper spike to try. It wasn't fake. It was pretty sharp, actually. I don't know how he did it. He said he just thought that it wouldn't hurt him, so it didn't.
What didn't you want me to know about Sarah Dekker?
It just makes things complicated, doesn't it? I knew Dr. Dekker's mother before I started seeing Dr. Dekker. She's dead, and now he's dead. I'm sure you're going to have a field day with it.
Did you know Sarah Dekker was Dr. Dekker's mother?
Yeah, that's the reason I came to see him. I knew she was dying, but he refused to talk to me unless I booked a session, so I did. And well, here we are.
Ah, okay, that's why she doesn't have a problem. Like, she needed to talk with Dr. Dekker as someone who's taking care of his mom, not as a patient. Why did Dr. Dekker refuse to talk about his mom?
I told Dr. Dekker that his mum was dying, that he should see her before it's too late. But he wasn't interested. It wasn't like he hated her. It was just like it wasn't important. He asked me to take care of it for him. He did send his assistant along to see her once. Sorry, your assistant.
What did Dr. Dekker mean by take care of it?
It was about the second, third session we had. He said he could tell that I was a good person, that I wanted to help people, and that I should think really hard about how I could do that. That's how I discovered shifting.
Was it Dr. Dekker's idea for you to shift?
All Dr. Dekker did was encourage me to think. But the shifting, that's all me. And my mum's a psychic, and my sister's an empath, but I was just ordinary. I always felt like I wasn't special, like I was missing out. But I wasn't. I just hadn't discovered what I could do yet. Sarah Dekker was one of the first ones I tried shifting for.
So how is your mom psychic?
My mum's got these spirit guides and they tell her things.
Oh yeah.
Mostly about my love life, it would seem.
I know what an empath is, but for the sake of chat not knowing...
To tell you the truth, I don't really know what an empath is. I should probably Google it sometime.
Did you shift for Sarah?
I didn't really know what I was doing that first time. I mean, I didn't actually expect anything to happen. I just thought, what would really help this woman? I thought maybe she would just imagine that he was there. But it actually happened. I changed into him, Dr. Dekker. It blew my mind.
Why did you say I'm not going to die soon?
As far as I know, it only works on people who are close to death. That's the whole point of it. I have to hold their hand, and they have to think of the person, and they have to be near death. Those seem to be the 3 criteria.
Okay. Alright, let's talk about Claire. How are you doing? How are you today?
I've been to the lake house regularly, keeping an eye on David. I saw the girl again, the one I told you about.
Hmm?
She was playing outside.
Have you seen your arrest report?
It makes for interesting reading, doesn't it? I can tell you're dying to ask me about it. Fire away.
Why is she smiling? The report says you were arrested for murder.
That's what it says. I can see you're confused. The police say that David is dead, fatally wounded when I stabbed him. The coroner says that David is dead. Everyone says that David is dead. There was even a funeral. But I know he's alive.
How could you have a funeral if David isn't dead?
He's buried at Henley Church. You can go see for yourself. There's even a headstone. One of your other patients was a pallbearer. I never forget her face. You should ask him.
Bryce. Did you intend to fatally wound him?
David wanted to have a talk about our relationship. Not something any married person wants to hear. He said he'd been with Iris for about a year and that he loved her. He said he didn't love me anymore. Which I know is a lie. You don't just fall out of love with somebody. I reacted badly. I grabbed the nearest weapon I could find, which happened to be the steak knife, and stabbed him with it. There was so much blood. I instantly regretted it. So I fixed him.
How did you fix
It was about
him?
a week later. I brought David back to life.
Oh!
Not with virginal sacrifice. I just willed it to happen, and it did.
So that's one of
Dr.
those
Dekker
creepy
told me it was
things that
possible.
Bryce was talking
But only if
about.
you're not buried.
The dead came
Says
back
once
to
you're in the
life.
ground, there's no coming back. But until then, you have a chance at resurrection.
So that's what Bryce was talking about when he said the dead can come back, because he witnessed it when he was burying David. But when she willed David back to life, he was not 100% there.
Yes, resurrection. But now that I've seen the results, I don't think there's anything holy about it.
No.
I think reanimation is more an accurate term. Like, I'm an evil necromancer raising things from the dead.
What were the results of David's resurrection?
I think his brain was already decaying during the week that he was dead.
Oh, he was 1 week dead.
Important bits.
Shit.
So when I brought him back to life, I didn't heal him completely. Just gave him life in the state he was in. I mean, he's hunting and killing things and trying to roast them on fires he can only light with matches, but that's about it. He's your basic Neanderthal. So I have a problem.
What problem do you have? Your problem is David.
I'm being charged with murder because the police don't know he's still alive, and I can't get David to vouch for me for obvious reasons. I think it would raise quite a few more questions than answers, which is why I'm hoping that you'd be able to help me.
They want me to testify? How can I help you?
Considering the circumstances, I'd be grateful if you could see your way to declaring me temporarily insane at the time of the murder, to lessen my sentence. Because I'm not a killer, but I can't prove otherwise. You don't still think I'm a killer, do you, Doctor?
Yes and no. My God, I cannot answer that. Which patient was a pallbearer?
Bryce was a pallbearer for David. He's also a gravedigger, I believe.
Well, technically, she's not a killer, but she is. Like, in the eyes of the law, yes, you are. Oh my God, I cannot even answer that. How do you know Bryce?
Smuggling a body out of a funeral can be difficult, unless you pay the right people.
So that's how he knows, oh, I know how a decoy looks like. Because he has experience. Do you know anything about the paper spike?
A paper spike is an odd thing to use as a weapon.
Yes.
I suppose if it went directly into the heart, it might work. Or through his eye, or perhaps through the ear into his brain. Or was it just a frenzied, bloody mess of a murder? Do you know, Doctor?
Yes, it was a frenzy mess. I should tell Bryce that Claire says he's been smuggling bodies. He's gonna pretend to be... Okay. This is a note that says I should tell Bryce about the thing. I'm gonna say no.
Thank you, Doctor. So then you'll help me? You'll say I was temporarily insane?
No, you're not. No, I cannot... No, you weren't temporarily insane.
I'm going to pretend that I didn't hear that. Let's have a few more sessions before you seal our fates. Or is it that you want something else? Like Dr. Dekker did.
What else did Dekker want?
Dr. Dekker teased me mercilessly about my electability. He didn't believe I'd reanimated David. Once he presented me with a dead mouse and commanded me to give it life again. I didn't, of course. It's not something I'd throw around lightly. He changed his mind about me eventually. And then he mentioned the girl.
What girl did Dekker mention?
He told me he'd locked up a girl in the basement of his house. Just for me. And he asked me to reanimate her. It was Iris.
What?
I said I couldn't reanimate something that wasn't dead, and he said that wouldn't be a problem.
Oh,
so I agreed. I just played along. I was hoping it wasn't real. I assumed it wasn't real. But he was offering me what I wanted. A temporary insanity diagnosis.
Oh, yeah, that woman is a bitch. Claire says the girl in Dekker's basement was Iris. Iris the optician? Did you help Iris?
It didn't happen. Dr. Dekker called me from his house to cancel. He was furious.
Of course.
He said that Iris had escaped, and he blamed me for it. He said that I must have set her free after he told me about her.
What?
I knew it was all lies anyways. He was obviously titillating himself by reprimanding me.
Okay.
He knew I'd never want to speak to Iris again, so I couldn't prove it either way.
What changed Dekker's mind?
Dr. Dekker asked if I could prove David wasn't dead, so I took him to the lake house. He saw that I was telling the truth. I can take you to see him too, if you like.
Oh, I would like.
Would you like to see David, Doctor?
I would like to see David. Yes, I'd like to see David.
Very well. In our next session.
How is it possible David was brought back to life?
You tell me. What could possibly explain that?
Do you think you might be seeing David's ghost? Is David not human? Are you lying about David being alive? Or lying about never seeing Dekker outside of your session? Or did you speak at the girl at the lake house?
I didn't speak to her this time. Something about her made me feel uneasy. I just watched her from the bedroom window. She'd caught a fish. She was holding it in her hands.
Oh, she got a minnow. Is David not human?
Since I brought him back, I felt that there was something different about him. Something not quite right. I think it's his brain. But how ludicrous that you can bring someone back in the first place. It's like that book, Pet Cemetery.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, he does smell of earth, but that's because he spends most of his time out hunting.
Are you lying about ever seeing Dekker outside your session?
How astute, Doctor. Yes, I did say I hadn't seen Dr. Dekker outside of our sessions. That wasn't a lie. Our trip to the lake house was made during a session.
So what did the girl do with the fish?
I wasn't close enough to see, but for all intents and purposes, it looked as if the fish bit her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once I caught a fish alive.
So are you lying about David being alive?
If David doesn't exist, then that means that I really did kill him. He really is buried, and I really should be going to prison for a very long time. That just doesn't seem right to me. It's more probable that I reanimated him under Dr. Dekker's guidance.
You think you might be seeing David's ghost?
I assure you, David is not a ghost. I've touched him.
Any hunts? Okay, so now we're done with Claire. There's a lot to do with Bryce, but I don't think I have the energy to keep continuing. There's stuff I need to do with Jaya. Oh, there were some keywords. Wait. In Claire's arrest report, Okay, this is a nice lead. This is a nice lead. Okay, Bryce, how are you today?
Hello, Doctor. I've been thinking about our last session, and I just wanted you to know that I'm not a bad person.
No, you're just a pervy.
I know taking naked photographs is wrong, but you don't know what it's like until you face the same temptation. I'm assuming you don't know what it's like. Do you have an extra hour, Doctor?
No, I don't.
Thank God for that. There's someone else in my hour. A hooded figure, watching me and following me. I followed it too.
Do you remember burying David Castleford?
I'm actually a classically trained pallbearer. There are a lot of health and safety considerations. Not everybody can do it.
Oh.
Well, properly at least. Occasionally I step in if the funeral director is short-shouldered. I do remember her face. She wasn't upset in the usual way. She seemed agitated. Her husband must have been a giant. The coffin was so heavy. I remember because aft port side sprained his ankle.
Whoa!
And he wasn't lifting correctly.
Did Claire ask you to do with something with David's body?
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground.
Claire says you've been smuggling bodies.
It wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
Okay, Bryce says the husband is in the ground. Claire says he's been smuggling bodies. Okay, Claire says you are smuggling bodies.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire Castleford's husband in the coffin myself before carrying him to the grave. He is in the ground. I'm sure it wouldn't take much for the police to get an order to have him exhumed. Just make sure it's done on Tuesday morning when I'm off.
Okay, so let's remove Claire from the equation then. Are you smuggling buddies?
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about, Doctor. I saw Claire.
Okay. Claire says you are smuggling.
I have absolutely...
Smuggling?
I have absolutely...
Okay. Keyword is broken. So... who is the hooded figure?
I don't know who it is. My initial thought was that it was you. That I told you about my affliction and somehow you'd got it too. Now I think maybe it's the military or some organization that wants to use the hour themselves.
Yeah, it sees.
Maybe it's Dr. Dekker risen from the dead. I need to talk to you about him.
Okay. What else can you tell me about Dr. Dekker?
I spied on Dr. Dekker not long before he was murdered. I'm not sure I should tell you what I saw in his basement.
Iris? You saw Iris?
I'd been feeling uneasy with Dr. Dekker for some time. I mentioned how he'd changed before, so I began spying on him at home. One night, the basement door was open, and Dekker was returning upstairs. I skipped past him, and there she was, a girl. It was difficult to tell. It was dark, and she was chained.
I believe you.
No, sorry.
Where did you follow the hooded figure?
Whatever it is that's following me, it doesn't want to catch me yet. If I move towards it, it runs away. And when I follow it past temptations. A bar brawl, an open till, an open bedroom window. Like it's testing me.
Tell me about the bar brawl.
I split the brawl up.
Tell me about the open till.
I did nothing. I'm not stealing any more.
Okay, about the bedroom window.
I looked in. Watching other people is somehow built into our genes, Doctor. There was an old woman in bed. I went inside. Her bed covers were smoking. I think she'd fallen asleep holding a cigarette. I took the covers and put them in the bath. She'd have died otherwise. And no, I didn't take any pictures.
Oh, how did you guess? That was on my mind. What did you do with the chained girl? Why would the military be following you?
I'm surprised I haven't been approached earlier. I mean, my
Practitioner.
skills and the military. Special ops would be a breeze, wouldn't it? Waltz in past everyone during the midnight hour. Get whatever you want and return to friendly soil. It also makes me think that they might already know all of that, and that they want to get rid of me in case I tell anyone else. Would you do something for me if they get me?
How can I help you?
Would you tell Jessica I love her? She didn't really know me that well, but I did love her. And also, there's a hard drive in the bottom drawer of my drinks cabinet. Please destroy it. Please.
Oh, this must be the photos?
Don't look at it.
What did you do with the chain girl?
I removed the chains, dressed her, and sat her in the police station. There's no evidence, though. No evidence of what he'd done.
Oh!
But she was free. I saved her. I'm not evil.
Oh!
I destroyed evil.
Dekker thinks it was Claire. Thought.
I spied on Dr. Dekker.
Okay, so now, Bryce says he took the girl in Dekker's basement to a police station. Okay, so maybe we can tell Claire. Let me try. Bryce took the girl.
Smuggling a body out of a funeral.
No, didn't work. Tell me about the paper
Dr.
spike.
Dekker frequently used that paper spike on his desk as an example. I'm sure he did it with the other patients too. He'd make me look at it, touch the point to see how sharp it was. He'd tell me that because I think it's sharp, it will hurt me. But if I thought it was nothing, it could pass right through my hand.
Have you seen Jessica again?
Jessica is a beautiful woman. I've not spied on her since the incident we talked about. I have real feelings for her, Doctor. We've never connected.
Why did you say half port side?
I find using nautical terms to describe the position of pallbearers fitting. Plus, most of them are 3 sheets to the wind. You know, drunk.
How is your job?
I put my hand through a rusty nail at work today. It hurt like hell and bled like I'd been shot. I closed my eyes and thought, this isn't happening. The nail is just a worm and it will wriggle through me. When I looked back, can you guess what I saw?
A nail?
When I looked back at my hand, it was healed. Look, see?
Well, well, how did your hand heal?
My hand had healed. The nail had become a worm and was wriggling in my palm. It was like a little miracle, like magic.
So basically, Dekker is a necromancer, and he show his power to everyone. Claire kind of picked up on the trick, unbeknownst, and reanimated David's body. Interesting. Do you think magic healed your hand?
I shouldn't really say miracle or magic. They're words that Dr. Dekker used when he tried to get you to think things and make them real. But do you think it's real, Doctor? That magic is real?
Yeah, magic is real.
Then so it is. Close your eyes. Imagine you're in a graveyard, looking at the gravestones. One catches your eye, so you take a picture of it. a picture that you now have.
Evidence added, graveyard photo. Oh my god. I do have a gravestone photo. Dr. Dekker, 1875. Dr. Dekker. He's 200 years old? No. 2017, so 125 plus 17. 132. Dr. Dekker is 132 years old. Wow. Where did the picture came from?
No. You have an interesting aura, Doctor.
Okay. Maybe you should try talking to Jessica.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you. It's nice you think I'm capable of such basic interaction with females. But I'm still in awe of her, really. I will think about it, though.
Alright. So yeah, so basically, yeah. Bryce is a nice guy, but he's a pervert because he's still in awe of interacting with women. But if he comes back tomorrow and says that he finally talked to Jessica, we're gonna have a breakthrough. I'm gonna be happy for him. Even though still, you know, gross pictures. Jaya, how you been today?
I'm fine. I'm ready for my grief counselling. I emailed you Mariana's address. I don't know why you'd want it. I suppose you're going to start doing home visits now, like Dr. Dekker?
Oh. Why would I want Mariana's address?
Doctor, if you don't want it, don't text me and ask for it. It's all right. I don't mind doing menial tasks for you. Someone has to do them.
Okay, home visits?
Yes, Dr. Dekker started doing home visits for Mariana. He said she couldn't concentrate properly in his office. I hope you're not thinking of doing the same thing. I need you right where I can see you.
Are you spying on me?
Checks and balances, Doctor. Somebody needs to be watching the watchman, so to speak. Make sure you're helping, not hindering.
Was Dr. Dekker helping or hindering?
He probably did his fair share of helping and hindering. He was definitely helping in the beginning, but then seemed to lose sight of things.
I should ask Mariana about Dekker's home visits. Yeah? How did Dr. Dekker lose sight of things?
I think he was so overwhelmed by the patients he was getting. His curiosity just got the better of him. There was a definite turning point.
What was the definite turning point for Dekker?
Somewhere around the time Professor Alderby turned up.
Of course.
That seemed to unsettle him.
Of course.
And then we had a flood of extra weird patients. I think it was all too much for him. I think I misjudged him.
But the patient were...
Deal with it better.
Shall we talk about grief today?
Grief is such a strange word if you keep saying it. Grief, grief, grief. It sounds like somebody's being whipped. And you're going to ask me how I feel today?
Did you talk to Nathan much?
He talked to me a bit. It's been bothering me, but I think I should share it. My key card went missing on Valentine's Day and Nathan had it. Well, he gave it back to me in the morning, said he'd found it on the floor of the office, but I don't drop things, Doctor, not keycards. I checked the access log and it was used at 10:05 on Valentine's night. I guess it doesn't prove he used it, but somebody did.
Have you told the police about the key card?
I haven't mentioned it to the police yet. I'm still thinking about it.
Anything else to share about Dekker?
Some mornings I come into work and still expect him to be here. Sometimes it feels like he actually is here, watching over me. We had a connection. It's gone now, though. You can't have a connection with the dead, can you? Not for too long, anyway.
What connection?
Dr. Dekker asked me to have dinner with him for Valentine's. I refused, obviously, because you don't sleep where you eat or something like that. But it was flattering, especially with competition like Mariana around.
Jaya says Nathan found her keycard on Valentine's Day. Should ask Nathan about the keycard. Yeah. What did you do on Valentine's?
I was at home on my lonesome, Doctor, like I said before.
Is Mariana a competition?
Sorry, I didn't mean I was competing. I was happy Mariana was going out with him. I didn't want to be romantic with him. We had a stronger connection than that.
Why was it a stronger connection?
Dr. Dekker and I shared some philosophy. We'd both read The Cult of the Kinetic Mind, and we agreed with a lot of what it said. Have you read that book, Doctor?
Not yet. I haven't read Cult of the Kinetic Mind.
In Cult of the Kinetic Mind, the author suggests that everyone is capable of psychokinesis and that the cult leaders specifically had these powers that turned their followers into disciples. It's not a fun read, but if you're into psychology, it's a blast.
Is psychokinesis common?
No, not at all in my experience. Dr. Dekker had an unusual number of patients who claimed psychokinesis. Either he'd been specifically looking for them or someone had been sending them.
What's psychokinesis?
Psychokinesis is the ability to change the physical world without actually touching it, just by using your mind. It's not just about bending spoons.
PK.
It covers all sorts of things like telepathy, telekinesis, telesabalas. Shoot me, I'm a Kojak fan.
Do you believe in psychokinesis?
Like I said, all those cool things are in Cult of the Kinetic Mind, apart from Kojak, obviously. If you ever get a patient who thinks they can change the world with just their mind, then duck, just in case they can. But seriously, do a whole load of shrinking and make them better. Whether you believe in psychokinesis or not, you'll need to figure out your approach with those that do.
What approach?
How do you make people who think they have special powers better? Do you remain passive and support, encourage them, take them away?
I want to say remove their powers.
That's what I'd try to do.
Why would someone send psychokinetic patients here?
It's entirely possible that someone is targeting this practice with psychokinetic patients. To what end, I don't know. It's no coincidence that most psychokinetic patients are diagnosed as insane, or at least temporarily insane. It's a handy diagnosis if you're facing criminal prosecution, especially if it's for murder.
Alright, it makes sense now, because yes, somebody is sending me those patients. Like, all 5 of them are psychokinetic, in one way or another. Nathan with the time loop. Mariana with the mermaid thing. Ellen with the shape-shifting, Claire with the reanimating, Bryce with the extra hour, which is basically slow time to a near halt with his mind. So, any news on Ben?
I think that's all settled now. We are agreeing to pay Ben £5,000 and he's agreeing not to say anything about what he saw.
Okay. What did Ben see?
He thought he saw a creature coming out of Dr. Dekker's mouth. Well, at least that's the reason he's given for not emptying the bins that night. Either way, it's not the kind of publicity that we need.
Oh, I think
Shiny,
I need to talk to...
happy, sane people.
I think I need to talk to this guy. Tell me about the paper spike.
It's in that police report that I gave to you. You should really take a look at it.
Why couldn't Mariana concentrate in the office?
Honestly, I think Dr. Dekker had a bit of a crush on Mariana, or vice versa. I'm not really sure. There's some footage from their home sessions if you want to see them.
Yes, I would love to. Yeah, show me the footage.
It was a joke, Doctor. I guess we found our level.
What does grief sound like being whipped?
Oops, that was a strange thing to say, wasn't it? Whipped. Am I all whips and chains in the bedroom or dominant in the boardroom? Don't answer that, it's not a question. It's early days for a harassment suit yet, what with Ben's nervous shock already.
What do you know about Dr. Dekker's mother?
Dr. Dekker did send me to see his mother once. She was dying in a nursing home and he didn't want to see her.
Yeah.
I remember him calling her a manipulative, evil old hag. You tend not to ask any more questions after that.
Okay, so now Professor Warwick. Who are you?
Professor Warwick, I'm a physicist. Where's Dr. Dekker?
So Dekker is dead.
Is he really? Actually dead? Not a worthy adversary after all, then.
Dekker was your adversary?
Dr. Dekker challenged me. He tried to use my theories against me. Quantum theories.
Oh. What theories?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
Dekker's eyes used to glaze over whenever we talked about that. He didn't believe in quantum physics. As if it's something that you can optionally believe in.
Yeah.
Well, it started with an experiment.
What was the experiment?
Have you heard of quantum suicide, Doctor?
No, I haven't.
Quantum suicide is a thought experiment that tries to explain the many worlds theory. You're looking at me blankly. I can see that you don't understand. I knew you wouldn't. Alternate universes.
Yeah?
Essentially, if I were to shoot myself, then in some alternate universe...
Yeah, I get it. I get it. The many worlds theory...
Now, if I could actually choose that universe. I'm taking a product off a supermarket shelf. Well, I simply applied that logic to something different.
Why would you... What did you apply that logic to?
Gambling.
Okay.
I set up an experiment whereby I would visit a casino and place a very large bet at a roulette table. Now, I would always bet on odd. Now, the results of this particular experiment were mundane. I won as many times as you would expect according to the laws of probability. But then, I changed a parameter.
What parameter did you change?
Quantum suicide required a loss of life to make it a realistic thought experiment. So I simply upped the stakes. Every time I bet on odd, I would place everything I had on that one spin of the wheel, and it worked. Well, for a while.
Why did the experiment stop working?
Dr. Dekker killed it, and I can't get it back.
What did Dekker kill?
Well, my theory, quantum gambling. If the stakes are high enough, you will win every time by simply shifting your consciousness into that branch that wins. It's tricky, but it can be done. Dr. Dekker didn't like that. He saw me becoming rich and powerful, and he hated that. That's why he proffered the hangman's paradox.
Oh!
Well, imagine a judge sentences you to death. Now, it will be Monday or Tuesday next week, but it will be a surprise. Well, which day do you think you'll be executed?
Why gambling?
Why not gambling? My wife Vanessa left me for a neurosurgeon. She emptied our entire combined wealth into her barrister's wallet. I needed more money. Physics provided me with a solution.
So now we're getting into zero escape quantum psychology thing. Like the quantum suicide he's talking about and shifting. Like say if the danger is big enough, you can shift your consciousness into a reality that wins. But then he killed your theory with the hangman's paradox. Why would
Honestly? Well, I think he feared quantum physics. He didn't like things being explained in terms of science. Almost as if he'd have preferred chaos.
I want to say Monday.
Well, Monday does seem likely, yes. Because if you're still alive on Monday at midnight, then Tuesday won't be a surprise. But if you're sure that it's Monday, then that won't be a surprise either, will it? Dekker tricked me.
How did Dekker trick you?
He told me that sometime in the future I would lose a bet. That I would lose all of my money. Now, this didn't seem likely because I had quantum gambling on my side and it was working. But he unnerved me. He made me doubt myself.
Oh.
And then it happened.
You lost everything. Now you're pissed.
Recently, I lost everything that I'd managed to build up since Vanessa left me.
Tell me about your wife.
We were married for 14 years, 7 months, and 3 days. Vanessa couldn't have children. At least that's what she told me. She grounded me in reality. I'm not complaining. It's probably what I needed. But part of me always thought that one day I'd achieve immortality through science. It wasn't to be, though.
Did it bother you that you couldn't have children?
Well, yes, it bothered me. Especially now that I find out that she's pregnant. Oh, no, it
Oh.
wasn't a rocket scientist that was required, but a brain surgeon, it seems. I have considered putting that neurosurgeon onto his darkest timeline. But I'm not a killer, it would seem.
What were you doing on Valentine's night?
I was at a fundraiser for a charity called Mind Stretch Outreach. Don't know how I got roped into that, I can't remember. But it was full of very clever children with bizarre outlooks on life. And Jaya. It was Jaya who asked me to go.
Of course, because she's working for Dekker. How well do you know Jaya?
Oh, she's Dr. Dekker's lovely assistant. I imagine she's your lovely assistant now.
Yes.
Yeah, she always smiles and makes me a cup of tea before a session. That smile. Which reminds me, my session. Can we talk about my problem now?
Oh, because you don't have any money. Yeah, let's talk about your problem, sir.
I'm not a gambler, Doctor. I'm a scientist. I need more money. It's true I've run out of money for my research. An opportunity has arisen.
Oh, what research?
Quantum gambling.
Yeah.
It's a pet project. It's got nothing to do with work. But if I don't have significant amounts of money to lose, and there won't be enough jeopardy for the experiment to work.
So who do you work for?
The Ministry of Defense, of course. Guns aren't going to win the next war. Quantum physics is.
So what opportunity has arisen?
A very wealthy group of individuals have offered to pay me a very large sum of money if I attend their next private soiree. They don't want to talk or anything like that. They want a practical demonstration.
What sort of practical demonstration?
They'll pay me £1 million if I can successfully survive 6 rounds of Russian roulette. Now, I am worried because of what Dr. Dekker said, but... well, I can't help but thinking that the stakes are so high I can't possibly lose. What do you think, Doctor? Should I take them up on their offer?
I mean, I would say yes. Mind Stretch Outreach, I know what it is, but...
It's full of poor kids with very capable minds. I did give them a talk on quantum tunneling once, and they loved it. Not sure it'll put dinner on the table for any of them, though.
What's quantum tunneling?
Oh, you're going to have to Google that, Doctor, I'm afraid. I'm not a walking Wikipedia. I'd love to tell you, but I am paying you by the hour. Maybe look up Schrodinger's cat whilst you're there.
Oh, yeah, I know Schrodinger's cat. Yeah, take the offer.
Splendid. I can't lose, Doctor. Let me demonstrate.
Standing up. Sound of a body falling. Wait. Wait. He's gone. Fuck. He lost on the first round of Russian roulette. Fucking. Now how do I explain the dead body in my office? This is the second time a person died in this office. Fuck. The guy's just gone. Is there going to be any consequences about that? I mean, what? Fucking. Alright, I fiddle